folks, welcome to the Pirate Round. I be Cap'n Skultopus here, and this be the Scars Raven.
We've got some new crew if you haven't noticed.
Oh, look at this new crew we've got. We're gonna have introductions.
We have El Badger.
El Tejon.
El Tejon.
He's a Spanish badger who has become captain of his ship.
He's a
Smiling Badger.
Spanish pirate.
He is. That's Gunner's Mate Growler, and of course we have Bill G, the Bilge Rat, Pie Rat, Polly Pirate Parrot, and right in front of this person wearing the straw hat is Quartermaster Snuggles, who is having a good time playing pirate today, and we say welcome.
And of course we've got Squatch.
We've got
Captain Redbeard, who's now back.
Yeah, he's back to Gunner's Mate Squatch, and we have Captain Bartholomew Roberts.
No,
he's not captain anymore. He's just Bartholomew Roberts. He's been deposed as commander of the ship by a vote, and El Tejon is our new pirate captain.
Captain of his newly named ship, the Smiling Badger.
Smiling Badger. So, folks, welcome to the Pirate Round. We're going to pour out a drink here from the Crystal Skull, the cursed Crystal Skull, of course, that any sane person would run away from. However, we filled it full of liquor, and we're drinking out of it. Pour out the Jamaican Mountain Red, wonderfully smooth, as you can tell, beautiful drink. We enjoy it quite a bit, so we say to you folks, welcome to the Pirate Round, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching our show, Yar Har.
Yar Har.
So, Scars Raven, pirates drank a lot of liquor on board.
That's right, they did.
They were given a ration, of course, you know, a gallon of beer a day, a pint of rum a day. They drank quite a bit of liquor because you couldn't drink much water. But there's certain things that they really enjoyed drinking when they could get them. And one of those was a specialty drink called
Madeira.
Madeira.
Perhaps one of the secrets of victory is making your enemy anticipate defeat. Don't you agree? More wine, Your Excellency.
No, thank you. I must compliment you on your wine, Captain. Nowhere have I tasted better.
Oh, there is no better wine than good Madeira, Captain.
Now, Madeira, well, before we really get into this drink, let's see. Yes, it's the right one. Madeira is an island that is west of Africa. It is ruled by Portugal.
Or was.
Yeah. It's actually its own country now.
There you go.
But it's really interesting about Madeira. The name of it, I can't remember the name, is something like Ilha de Madeira, which is something like the Isle of Wood.
Okay.
It was discovered around the 1500s, or the 1400s, 15 or 1400s, I'll put it down there, by the Portuguese who settled it. But it may have actually been found earlier than that, because they have actually found what they call mitochondrial DNA
from mice
that date from the time of the Vikings in Norway.
Right.
Those mice actually came from Norway and Denmark.
Aboard Viking ships.
So,
yeah, at that time in the late 800s or 900s, when Vikings were moving down France and into Spain and around
even
in the
Africa.
Mediterranean, and maybe even perhaps along the coast of Africa, they must have made a stop on Madeira for fresh water or wood or supplies.
And it's quite a ways out. If you look at Africa, and we'll post the map.
And quite a ways out from Africa, actually.
You've got Africa here, you've got Gibraltar, and it would be out in here.
Well, you know, we've got...
It would be, yes, it would
right
be
there.
over in here.
Yeah, we've got the map right there, so it's quite a ways out. So they must have been sailing quite a bit of distance to run into it.
Right. And then, of course, there was a story that some nobles ran away there.
Right. And sort of hid there.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Portuguese stopped there, and Portuguese decided to make it a port, and they started growing sugar. And sugar became a huge commodity.
Yep.
Very big commodity.
Yeah. Well, the climate, of course, is conducive to that.
And it was a great stopping spot for those sailing over to the New World. Swing down around the coast of Africa, and then make your port there, get your last of your water and supplies that you need, and then shoot across.
Yeah.
So it was a great port, and the Portuguese populated it, and it grew and grew and grew and became a good port, and they decided to start growing grapes there.
There you go.
And there's many types of Madeira wine that they have from that. You have reserve, you have special reserve. Madeira wine, interestingly enough, is the only wine that will last indefinitely after it's been opened. Everything else will go bad. And Madeira, they found, when they first sent wine across to the New World, that the wine was going bad. So what they decided to do was fortify it with grape juice. And while it was going across the New World, the heat of the hold of the ship, along with the motion,
The movement as it was sloshing
aged it
around.
and created one of the best wines that you could ever have.
Yeah.
And they didn't discover this until later.
Yeah.
That was going on when they had a shipment that went into the Indian Ocean by Dutch that came back unsold, and they found that this was what was causing this.
Yeah, well, sampling it, they found that the wine had actually improved. The fact that it had never been taken out of its casks, and it had been matured inside the cask with the heat and the movement, had actually caused it to become more full-flavored and a better drinking wine. They would sometimes fortify wines with extra alcohol and then treat them in this manner, for what they call adulterating them with alcohol or grape juice, and then treating them in this manner so that you would have a wine that essentially, if it could make it through this sort of harsh conditions, the heat of a ship's hold, spent time in a cask under constant movement, if it could make it through that, then this wine could last for years and years and years. And there are Madeira wines out there that have been opened up after 200 years and they're still drinkable and very good because they just last and last and last.
You can actually find Madeira wines that are over 200 years of age.
So, on the back here, it says, let's get this going. Rainwater Madeira was named after the legend that, oh my goodness, I could read
That
a barrel of Madeira wine was left on a dock in a port in the east coast of the United States.
Georgia, I believe.
And after days of heavy rainfall, the wine had been diluted with rainwater. Rather than discard the wine, the merchant sold it off as a new, lighter style of wine, gaining much popularity. A medium dry Madeira with nutty aromas and a firm acidity that is best served chilled as an aperitif. Well, we're going to drink it today the way the pirates would have drank it, not chilled, right out of the bottle. We're not going to knock the neck of the bottle off with our cutlass. We're going to actually open it.
Another rumor on the rainwater was the person drank it said, "This is as smooth as drinking rainwater."
Okay, that's a good one. The thing that I always mention is Madeira wine was highly prized among pirate crews for its drinking qualities and its complexity. You know, it wasn't fiery rum. It wasn't watery beer. You know, something very different, and it was high quality that they would drink, and they would steal it, sort of like brandy. They would steal it from a ship and take it as a prize. You know, a cask of Madeira, you know, was worth its weight in gold, apparently. And you know, there's many references in old pirate movies to, Captain, this fine Madeira wine, I shall drink this, and then I shall kill you, that sort of stuff. And well, I really enjoy this Madeira wine. It was in the wine cellar of the governor of Havana, and that sort of stuff. And I've always wondered, what in the world is Madeira? I read about it a lot. I hear about it. So we decided we're going to try some. And when normally we would try rum and other stuff on our show, we decided to try a contemporary drink that would be aboard ship at the time. And we're going to give it a good look through, and hopefully, it's got cork in it.
It's a twist off cork.
No, really? Oh, nutty.
So interesting too about Madeira. Madeira is actually one of the root causes for the American Revolution. The British refused to allow Madeira to be sold
That's good.
in the New World unless it was carried on ships that were English.
You can't always get it on an English ship. Look at that
It's
color.
got a nice blush or caramely color.
It's a
almost
caramel.
like the color of a good rum.
It is. It's actually a very light sort of caramel color. Interesting.
We've
I
never had
expect it
this.
to
This
be
is
red.
a freshly opened bottle, as you can see.
I expect it to be crimson.
This is a
colours.
product of Portugal that comes from Madeira.
Yeah, it actually comes from the island
Right.
of Madeira.
You can't technically have a Madeira wine unless it comes from Madeira.
True.
Now you can have a Mescal, which is a form of Madeira,
That's the great, yeah.
which is a sweet, and Madeira is typically kind of a sweeter. There are many kinds of rums, or not rum, Madeira that I will post down below. Once again, of the different kinds that there are, and the sweetness values of them, and the reserves and everything else like that. But it has a nice, almost like the meads that we've drank.
Mm-hmm. It's got a fruity, but also a very nutty aroma, like a woody, aroma. Your heart.
Ooh, that
Tastes
is
like
good.
mead.
That is good.
Tastes like mead. Doesn't even taste like
It
wine.
has, it's definitely got a mead flavor
Doesn't
to
even
it.
taste like wine at all. It tastes like
I
mead.
could see why they would be drinking that.
Oh, I could see why you drink it. Boy, you gotta
Wow,
watch this
That
stuff.
is good. Now this
Talk about
is
smooth.
18% alcohol, which is not as much as a rum, but
That's like a mead.
it's like a mead. Wow.
Boy, if that was chilled,
is
I can tell you right now
fantastic.
that would be good.
Now, they can salt and pepper Madeiras too, which is for cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for drinking, the salt and pepper versions.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh boy.
That is fantastic.
All right, folks. So, flavor-wise, very smooth, reasonably fruity, nutty,
This is a little bit dry.
a little dry, but also sweet. Very mild, very smooth, and almost like I say, it almost tastes like mead because the honey notes in it, the sweetness. But I'll tell you right now, it's got a very smooth finish, and it tastes very good. I got a little bit of the wood in there, but not much. Just enough to give it a little bit of the woody flavor, but not very much. Aroma-wise, I would think that this, if no one had told me this was a Madeira, I would think it was mead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think it was mead.
Now, modern Madeira is not put on ships. They've actually found a way to age it
Yeah.
by pulling it up, putting on rollers and heat,
Yeah.
and rolling it back and forth, and the heat and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
This is not when we went to find this. They didn't have very many choices. Now we found a few other choices. It's pretty limited, and this was really not that expensive. I think I paid about the same for this as I do for an average rum, $45. I think I paid for this bottle, which is not bad.
I mean, that's pricey, but I can see you don't want to drink too much of it. I mean, it's potent.
It's
18% alcohol.
That is good.
Wow. I would never think I was drinking wine,
No,
and I'm not a wine person. I just don't like wine that much. But I'll tell you what, I never would have thought I was drinking it.
yeah, I can understand why that was a great trade item.
My goodness.
And why the New World would want it.
Yeah.
The New World didn't have much to drink, so drinking Madeira wine.
Well, you either drank moonshine, watery beer, watered down rum, fiery rum, cheap wine that you somehow got from England, brandy, which could be good or could be bad, or you got something like this. If you had this as opposed to all the others, you'd be killing for this.
They say that
It's so
George
good to drink.
Washington drank a bottle a day of this.
I believe it. I mean, for one thing, he couldn't drink much of the water around where he was at, so I bet he drank a lot of that.
And the color, like I said, just
I
look
mean,
at
he
that
lived
color.
to be
It's
in
like
his
a good
70s.
rum color.
So
That caramely blush.
now that I got to tell you, that's
Not
a
really
real.
much,
Yeah,
really
you know,
caramel.
I kept
It's-
thinking that's not red at all, like
No.
a wine. Look at that. That's caramel.
It's a very caramely color.
It's like a very light brown, like a very light rum, and I just can't get over the fact that when we had poured it out, I thought I was going to have a red drink, like a typical red,
Red or
like
white or
like
blush
yeah,
is
like a
typically what you
Merlot
see
in
with
there or
most.
something.
Yeah.
But no, it's caramel colored.
Yeah, wow.
Wow, that's good. Your heart, Scarlet.
Your heart. I can see why nobles would drink that.
I can
The
see.
Spanish. Wow.
And maybe the rainwater means it's been watered down slightly. Sure, okay. But it also moderates it quite a bit, its flavor.
There are parts of Madeira where it's very dry, and there's other parts that are very rainy. So they have learned how to dig canals that flow water to both sides.
From one side to the other, to make it a great place to grow wine.
And the typical temperature there is about 67 degrees Fahrenheit.
Horrible.
Sounds like paradise.
Horrible.
There's a beautiful fort that sits there. Never been to Madeira, but boy, I would love to go there just for the wine.
Yeah. So this is Blandy's Rainwater Madeira. They established 1811. I have a numbered bottle. It's a numbered stamp from Portugal, 471377, Madeira G1. Madeira Island, so it is the official Madeira Island,
Yes.
Madeira. Family-owned winery, made in Madeira. Contains sulfites, so you probably don't want to drink a lot of it at a time.
Could get headaches.
You could get a headache.
Or hangover.
Product of the island of Madeira, Portugal. Now they recommend that you serve it at 52 degrees. So probably keep it in your refrigerator and serve it chilled. And we can try that later and
Yes.
see how it tastes. We usually keep our meads chilled too, so we're a fan of cold drinks. I bet that if we drank this when it was chilled, it would be so smooth it would just go down like nothing. Even though room temperature as it is right now, it's quite smooth. Really nice.
You want more?
Pull me out a bit more there. Really enjoying that. Leaves a good kind of crisp, fruity flavor in the mouth too. It doesn't leave something like a bad aftertaste, like tastes like dirt or wood.
No.
It leaves a really smooth kind of finish to it, and it's really enjoyable. I could see sitting back and drinking a bottle of this, or drinking a bottle of it. It's 18% alcohol. That's a lot. That's 40 proof.
Right. Now ports are very similar to Madeira wines too. But we'll put all that down below. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, this is good.
They're hard.
They're hard.
Love you, sweetie.
Love you too. Cheers and thank you for watching.
Cheers, folks.
I would highly recommend this if you have
Yeah.
never had Madeira.
Such a great surprise.
Mm.
What does that little tag say? Oh, it's another little tag. It's a little stamp tag, like a tax tag. Okay. Wow. Really nice stuff. Got a nice little cork.
Plastic cork, but it's still
nice. Well, folks, Blandy's Madeira wine. Calling it wine is kind of a misnomer because it sure doesn't taste like wine to me.
It's more like a mead.
It tastes like mead.
Oh, that's good.
So, where would this be good at? Well, it'd be great for sharing with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
A bit sweet, so it'd be great after meal. They say it's an aperitif, but really, I mean, you could drink it before meal too.
Now, aperitif, what does that mean?
Well, I think it's an appetite stimulator.
Right.
So,
And then there's the digestif.
digestif is something you drink after you
Right.
eat.
Usually with your desserts.
Typically, I think an aperitif is what you use. You have to stimulate your appetite. I've always thought that aperitifs should be sort of dry, so they kind of make your glands salivate and kind of get you drooling and thinking about eating food. But having a sweet aperitif like this, which is essentially mead, I would think it could go either before a meal, during a meal, or after a meal as a dessert. I could see definitely after a meal sitting down with your friends around a fire with a nice glass of this and talking about the events of the day and such, and really enjoying the flavor and really enjoying good company. So I know it's expensive. However, I would say right now that if you needed to pass it around to your friends, it would be well worth it to let them know, that this is a very good drink, very pleasant to drink, and very personable, and worth the money.
And it's a drink that dates back to the age of piracy.
Mhm.
Piracy. The pirates
Exactly.
would have been drinking this.
Exactly.
There were tales of pirates taking ships and taking the Madeira. Blackbeard
Yeah.
was one of them.
Yeah, well, you would steal all the captain's drinks, the captain's spirits, as they would call it.
Well, if they were bringing it across
Yeah.
to sell too.
Yeah, I mean, it would be worth its weight in gold. 20, 30, 40 casks of Madeira. Why, that'd make it worthwhile for the entire ship to.
Yeah, what is it? 112 gallons is called a pen.
Mm.
And there was, I think we read that Blackbeard had caught 3,800 pens of Madeira wine.
Wow, that's
on one
100,000
ship.
gallons or more.
It was like 3,800 gallons. I think is what it comes out to be.
Why, that'd make you one of the wealthiest men ever to get hold of something like that. And you know, unfortunately, there is quite a bit of history on the island of Madeira regarding the slave trade. And many Africans were brought there enslaved to work.
The sugar and
work the
the
sugar
grapes.
cane and the grapes. So, you know, that in itself is another big historical concept. You know, regarding the production of this wine in that place.
The Barbary pirates raiding Madeira
True.
for slaves, possibly drink.
Or gold, you know, being that it was a trading port. So we try to bring you here on the Pirate Round different aspects of maritime history and pirate history and economic history from those times, from the golden age of piracy, thereabouts. And Madeira is just one more example of that. And we hope you enjoyed this episode, folks. Like, share, and subscribe to our show. And we greatly appreciate you.
So we want to say, you know, stay strong. Don't let people grind you down. You know, take care of yourself. Take care of your crew. You know, when you go out into public, we ask, you know, please cover your face. It's not just for those around you. It's for you.
Truth.
It's proven that it will save lives. It may be a little bit. It may be a lot. We don't know a whole lot, but it does help. And we don't want to lose our loved ones, our friends, to this disease called COVID. And you know, even if you survive, there may be implications to it.
True.
Because we've seen some of that. But stay strong. Always be yourself.
Always be a pirate.
Always be a pirate. And thank you for watching, and like, share, and subscribe.
And yar har, folks. Smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing. That's good.
That's going in the
I always
refrigerator.
wondered what Madeira was. I'd be buying more of that.
Yeah, we're going to buy more of this. This is going in the
I'd like to
refrigerator.
try some of the other
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
just to see.
This is going in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
This is our evening sipper right here.
That is good.
Yeah, I love
Wow, that is good.
I've never had anything that tasted that smooth.
Well, you know, reading about Madeira, you know, and then seeing like the Seahawk and other movies talking about Madeira, you know, I never thought about it, and then you know, it just dawned on me. It's like one day after watching the Seahawk and they're talking about Madeira, it's like, you know, we need to find some of this and try this and review it because it is a drink of the time.
Yeah, and they keep bringing it up. You hear about it again and again in books and movies. It's like, what is this stuff that they keep bringing up?
Right.
Well, there it is. I mean, you know.
I can see why it was.
Yeah, and you know, we can review other Madeiras on here and talk more about the island. We can learn more about the island, talk more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Very good stuff. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.